Okay, so I know I said don't watch any more of your films, and I'm not going to let you watch the whole thing, but I do want you to catch this because you're doing drills today, right? So I want you to see something. Okay, so you start back here, and you got the discus behind the hip. And this is Maddie, you know Maddie. She's just learned how to get on the left, right? So she's making progress. But I want you to look at what her right leg does versus the discus over here, what you're doing, okay? So let's pay attention to that. So she's got the discus back just as far as you do, right? And she opens the left to 9 o'clock, right? And when you get to 9 o'clock, let's go ahead and get to 9 o'clock. Right there is 9 o'clock. What's the difference in position here? Can you tell? Okay, so she's a little bit more on the left and her shoulders are down a little bit, but that's okay. That's not the particular difference I'm worried about. Your shoulders are level, so I prefer yours anyway, and you're still on the left. So I prefer your movement in terms of axis control, but she's a very, very tall girl, so it's a little different. We have to be like this in order to lighten up the right leg. Now, you're here, but look where your discus is. Look where hers is. Can you see how much farther you've led with the upper body there? So I would say that we got to get better control of the tempo of this discus coming out of the back, right here. So watch it accelerate right here. See it? Right here. And it's already caught up with the hip. See it? Watch this though. Look what her right leg is. And look where that discus is. So now let's look at your right leg. Okay, so you can see when you pick up the right leg, her discus is way back here. I would like to try that, okay? And then the next thing that she does really well is that's it. She's done picking it up. Now she's going to go around with it. Watch her move the whole leg around with it. Boom. See it? See how she goes around that cone? Around. She doesn't pick up, now, the heel's just off the ground, and then she goes around. You don't see her heel rising above her knee, do you? Let's watch when you get done picking it up. Oh, boy. And look at what the discus is doing. While this heel is going from, if you just went around here, I could live with where that discus is. But you don't. Watch your heel. And look where the discus moved to. It was back here. We haven't moved the right around at all. We're still picking it up. That's where we're failing right now. And that's why I reminded you, and see how you kick down? And look where that discus is, way in front of the hip. Now you stall it and you move the hip back in front so you get it back behind you, right? And you land in a power position that feels right because, wow, the discus is behind my hip. But unfortunately, it had to disconnect for a long time to be able to do it. And so watch the discus not be connected to the hips. Watch it move forward. See how it's moving ahead of the hip? That hip isn't through. We haven't used our legs yet, and the discus is almost gone. And you're throwing 140 like this. So, I mean, I'm kind of excited, and yet I think you can fix this. I think you had this. I think that you have to control the start of that upper body so it's not rushing. And then I think you have to work on what we worked on from the beginning. Pick up the right, that's it. The end. Around. See? Around. See that? She picks up the heel, and around she goes. You pick up the heel, 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 and then you can't catch up. See it? Her discus is still behind the hip. Now I realize it's not moving up the way we want it to, but she's not there yet, technically, like you are. We're a lot closer, okay? So I like the fact that the hip's going around and under here. I love that right leg on that position. I love what you're doing with it there. But I don't like what you're doing with it here. And that's what has to change. It has to go from here around. It can no longer keep picking up and you keep falling forward off of it. See that? You've got to control that. And that's what we had working better on drills. And that's what I want your drills to focus on today. Control the discus. Make sure if you can keep the discus right here, if you can keep it that far behind the hip, that would be cool. And then look at, if we could start moving the whole right side around at the same time. See it? See how everything goes around and under? Okay. So that's what you're working on today.